We are live. Me and Dr. V. There he is. The man, the myth, the happening. The doctor. Look at that face. We had a good crab feast last night, but the doctor didn't show up. He had too many other things to do. He's too busy helping people who are addicted. And it's like sad. I said, you got to break away. You got to break away, Dr.
You got to
V.
take a
Somebody's
break
gotta
once in a
send it to-
while.
Right. Take it easy. Eat a little bit. Do your thing. He won't do it. So good to see you. Hello. We're an opinion station. I think it's Spartacus there. Hello, Spartacus. We love you. Good to see you. And we're going to start getting today, as you see from the thumbnail, first with why is Congress being paid when we got food lines that are sitting out there now? I don't know if any of you have seen the food lines. We'll give you a little picture earlier, but let's go over why Congress is being paid. Under Article, what is it? I thought I had this here. Oh, yes. Article 1, Section 6. Now, remember this. There's Article 1, Article 2, Article 3. Article 1 is Congress. Article 2 is the executive. Article 3 is the judiciary. Doesn't that tell you in the framers' minds who is supposed to be more important than anybody else? Article 1, even though Article 1's now gone, nobody's even looking at it. They don't care because Congress is now Article 50. Trump is Article 1 through 49. Okay, 1 through 48. The Supreme Court is 48. This is what the Constitution says. Congress shall receive a compensation for their services. The 27th Amendment says changes in salaries can't take effect until the next election, but Congress shall receive a compensation for their services. Now, let me ask you something. What are they doing? It's not that easy. They sit there and say, oh, the Constitution requires it. Let's see what the Constitution says again. Congress shall receive a compensation for their services. Let me ask you something, Dr. V. Your patient comes in to see you. You say hi. You say goodbye. Patient turns around, walks out. Are you entitled to a compensation for your services at that point?
No service, no pay.
Okay. Now we have a Congress. They're sitting there. You all saw the thumbnail with their feet up. Is this any different? They're doing nothing. You got a couple that have walked away from the money. This is the best part. You'll watch like Brett Baer or some of these other guys, and they try to put two congressmen together, and they say, one's a Republican, one's a Democrat. This is what they say. I love it. They give you the look, Dr. V. They go, we're talking behind the scenes. We're not fooling her. We're really talking behind the scenes, okay? You know how they do it. We're really there. And then you come out and you go, well, where's the legislation? Don't worry. We're talking behind the scenes. But that check's coming in. Let me ask you, are they having health insurance issues? Have you heard anybody in Congress complain about their health insurance premiums going up 2 or 3 times? I haven't. Have you heard anybody in Congress worrying about their check bouncing or losing their job tomorrow because they're not doing anything but just sucking in the cash? Have you heard anybody crying in Congress because, I've been looking. I want to see how the tan looks. I've been checking out the tans. I think the tans have been looking good, especially Speaker Johnson. He doesn't get tans. He just stays hidden in his little corner, comes out and gives his BS with his Bible and fake pages in there, all blank pages. But it's all the same. He's no different than the rest. I'm not pulling him out. I'm sorry. Republicans, Democrats, they're doing nothing. Healthcare going up like crazy. Then we have this.
Yeah.
That's a line.
There it is.
Federal workers set to miss paychecks today. In the food lines. There it is. In the food lines. These people who work for us, these look like, I assume, I'm not sure what, fire or whatever. They are out there because they don't have cash. They're going to be they need cash. They can't even eat food, Dr. V. Ball game over. Okay? It doesn't make sense. So these guys in Congress are sitting there having the greatest time, and people are sitting in line. There's this another picture of them in Prince George's County the other day. I think it's Prince George's. The line just snaked all around. People can't eat food because they're not getting jobs, because they're getting thrown out of their jobs. You call it furlough, you can call it schmerlow, you could call it Merlot. It isn't. You're throwing these people out. They're getting fired, and most of them ain't going to come back. They're not going to get their money, and they can't pay. Now they're getting hit. A double barrel. Second Amendment, they'll all love it. Let's talk our Second Amendment friends. It's like a shotgun. You can't afford your food because you're not getting paid, so you got to go and get in line for food while your health care is going up 2 or 3 times. How are you going to be able to afford it? How are you going to be able to afford anything? And meanwhile, Congress is just sitting there doing nothing. Co-sider, I'm kind of with you on some stuff. Yeah, it's all true. It's all true, Mr. Lindell. It's all true, co-sider. The prices are going up. Nobody's worrying about it. Why? Because Congress says, the Constitution says we must get paid. And we're not demanding it. We're not getting mad at it. We're not saying you guys are jive. Jeremiah, I agree. It's not useless people. Who do you determine? Jeremiah's talking about, who do you determine are useless people and immigrants? I mean, hey, my great-grandparents are immigrants. So just what are you talking about? It just happens. Joe's great-grandparents are immigrants. And we've kind of made it so far. So
they were hardly useless. They worked their rear ends off so that their family could get ahead.
Right.
They were the backbone of the country, not useless. So I agree with you that there is a lot of useless people, and I would start with Congress, number one.
Right on. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Doing nothing, sucking down the cash. Does any of you hear Congress doing anything? Right, Jeremiah, another free vacation. I assume so. For what is that? The House of Repression? Yeah, I assume that's what he's saying. There's no repression going on yet. The bottom line is this: we're paying these people. The people who work for us are in line. You know, the air traffic controllers aren't getting paid, but they're there. How much longer can they afford it? They were talking to some of these guys who have to do Uber work after they're doing their air traffic control work just to get some cash in to take care of their family, Joe.
I want to throw a couple of statistics out there, Mark.
Throw it out, baby.
So about 700,000 people are essential federal employees that they have to come into work without pay.
Does that include?
And there's another 750,000 that are furloughed that they're told to stay home.
That doesn't include the military, or does it include the military?
It includes everyone, all the federal employees. So there are some employees that are not furloughed that are getting paid. And I think Trump is moving the money around so that the people in the military continue to get paid. But you're absolutely right. The air traffic controllers are an example of they're deemed essential and they're not being paid. And I have to give credit to the people who are showing up for work. It reminds me in 1995 when I worked for the VA hospital, and there was a 21-day shutdown. And I had 2 small kids at home. My wife was pregnant. I was working at the VA hospital as a doctor, and I was missing a paycheck. And it was right around Christmas time. I remember it very clearly. Now, we were promised at the time that we would get our pay back. And I think they've actually passed a law to say that has to happen. But, Trump is trying to get around that law. But I'll tell you, it was a real scary time that here it was Christmas time and I wasn't getting a paycheck from the VA hospital. But I still went into work. And as much as I can be angry at Congress or the current administration, I have to give credit for the people who are still showing up for work. That's what this country is all about. That's what makes this country great. Not the people who make a big display of their power, their ostentation, not people who spend $300 million to knock down the east wing of the White House and make a ballroom. I'm not talking about ballrooms. I'm talking about air traffic control rooms. That's where we need to be putting our money, not in some ostentatious display. And normally I'm not that angry and that upset. I like to look at facts and data. But I just feel bad for the people who are putting it out to help this country, and on the promise, the hope that they're going to get paid at some time
No
in the
promise.
future.
There's no promise, Joe. A lot of them are saying they're not going to pay them. That's the thing. You see, before everybody knew they were going to get their money. Now they don't. They're not even sure they're going to have a job when they come back. Jeremiah, I was disagreeing with some of what you were saying earlier, but I think you're right on. This is all for the rich people. We've been saying this. Joe and I have been saying this for the longest time. All this does is cut people off. So every time they go through this, as you say, dog and pony show, isn't that the lead of what we're saying here? Why are these Congress people getting paid? Every time we go through this, the people in the middle get smashed. The middle and the lower get smashed. They get smashed more and more and more. And so many of these people are middle class people, hardworking people who are not going to have jobs when they come back. So what do? It's like Joe said, at least Joe knew they were getting the money back. It ain't happening now. They've gotten around the law. They know how this Russell Voigt, whatever his name is, the Grim Reaper in the tape, in the video. I mean, these guys, they don't care. It's such a different ball game. Look at all these people in line, and it's only and meanwhile the rich people super wealthy, pump $300 million to Trump so that he can put it into the East Wing. It goes from $200 million to $250 million to $300 million. You want to pump the cash in? Who am I?
I mean, I got to say something about this because
let me just finish it. I'll let you do it. Because
okay,
my issue is this: these are hidden money, Joe. That's what we've got here. We've got these people putting all this cash in. We don't know who they are. It's gone from 200 to 250 to 300. What is Trump giving them on the back end? We know that happens all over the place here. Run, Joe. That's what it makes.
I was just going to say the same thing because when I talk to people about that, they'll say, "Oh, Obama put in a basketball court on taxpayers' dime," but Trump is doing it. And he's not, using it from tax money. But who do you think is paying for it? Who do you think is paying for it? Businesses. Why do you think they're paying for it? Out of the goodness of their heart?
Oh, yes.
No, they're going to get something back. And when they get something back, guess who pays for it? You pay for it. I pay for it.
Right.
The people who are showing up for work without a paycheck are the ones who are paying for this.
You're so right.
And that's wrong. And we do need to highlight this, I believe, and do something about it. This is wrong. This is not what this country is built on. And people say, well, my party did this. But I'm not talking about political parties. I'm talking about the people who are showing up for work, hoping that they get paid for their effort. These are the heroes in this country, not some guy who stands up and says, you have to be clean shaven and be fit. And that's what represents this country. That's not what represents this country. It's the men and women who are willing to do the hard work. This week, I applied. I applied for a investigational new drug on IND, and I had to go to the FDA. So I go to the FDA website, and the first thing is, oh, the FDA is doing all these wonderful things for you. It's getting rid of dyes and this and that. But then it says that it's the Democratic Party that's closed down the government. So don't expect to get money services for us right now. I'm trying to get something so I can do a research study, but the federal government is closed and I can't get a hold of anybody down there to help me get this IND to do the study. But it has all the stuff that they're blaming the Democratic Party. The FDA has always been nonpartisan. It's been a place where you can go to and believe that the scientists are the ones who are making the decisions and it's based on facts and data. And we're losing that.
We disagree all the time. We're not losing it. We have lost it. Okay, Joe? You can't, there's no data anymore. It's the Ministry of Information, and these guys run and put out the BS. And of course, because it's all politics, is what we've been yelling about for months. This split up of the country, this, hey, you're red, you're blue, you're green, you're yellow, you're white, you're black, you're purple, whatever it is. Being a purple lover of the Ravens is just not too good right now. But whatever it is, you sit there and you go, why are we being split up? And while we're getting split up, what these guys are so great at doing is taking those who are getting hurt the most and making them the angriest, so they turn on people and don't look at really what's helping them. They just want to get out their anger. It's the emotion, and it only hurts them. It doesn't help them. How are the people in the lower rungs of this ladder being helped? How are the people in the middle rungs of this ladder being helped? The economic ladder being helped? When people are in line for food. And meanwhile, he pardons this guy, most of you, I don't know, some of you will, Binance, this crypto group, this crypto guy from, I think he was from like China or somewhere, and he ended up going to jail for a few months. He's a super billionaire, and he got pumped real cash out, but he enabled people to launder their funds through this platform and everything. He went to jail for a few months. He comes out and he helps the Trumps make billions of dollars by using Binance, which is the platform. It's like looking at the New York Stock Exchange. Binance is kind of like that. It isn't the same, but so they could take their money, take that gutter money or UAE, take that money, put it in there, and suddenly they were trading $2 billion in crypto, and it was because of Binance. So what happens? Trump pardons the guy, the big time super wealth. They ask him, well, don't you think there's a problem? He goes, who are you talking about? I don't think I know this guy. You don't know. He
doesn't know this. Oh,
right.
He doesn't know Project 2025 either.
Right. Well,
never heard of it.
Right. A lot of good people told me he's a good person. A lot of good people told me he's a good. So I did it. Who? A lot of good people. The UAE people put in the cash. Your sons. Witkoff's sons, Witkoff is his negotiator. So all this is going on. It's really interesting when you look at how he plays this game. He just tries to look at his business and just run with it as business and say, well, I'm taking care of this, so all the bad stuff I'm doing over here doesn't count because I'm able to do this. And where he's so great is being able to just shift things. I mean, you hear anything about the $230 million he's going to get from the U.S. Attorney's Office because he got screwed in all the lawsuits against him? It's gone. But all of a sudden, you're going to hear about it a month or two later when the money works its way through. How about the airplane, the Qatar airplane, or was it the UAE? I think it was Qatar. Right, gave him that $400 million jet. So we took it back in, and now he's going to have to do almost $400 million of work on the jet. Does anybody hear about that anymore? That's the second jet in Trump Airlines right there. No, he just moves it. Has anybody heard anything about housing? Has the government done anything to help people get a house? No. Where is it? Meanwhile, all this money's going out. This guy is an absolute genius, Joe. He's a genius, the president. He's a genius. And that's why you got to go at him on pieces. It's like taking down a tree. If you see the problems, you got to take it down piece by piece by piece. And with the good stuff, you give him credit for the good stuff. But when you're going after him, you can't just go after everything because he does so much. It's impossible to get your arms around it. You got to go after specific things. Joe?
I mean, we do get distracted with that he does so much that it's easy to get distracted on peripheral issues. But we need to understand what is the main primary issue here. And the primary issue is that you have one man who is concerned about his own personal benefit and doesn't care about, I'm going to say the country, but what I'm really referring to is the people who show up to work every day. I'm concerned about the average American citizen who needs to pay his bills, needs to have health care insurance, who's concerned about raising a family, who's concerned about paying for education, paying for groceries, and is really the backbone of this country. And who's going to represent these folks? Trump is masterful at creating illusions. He's sort of like a sparkler that it gives off a lot of light and brilliance and all that and distracts your attention. But what the country needs is not a sparkler. It needs warmth. It needs something that has embers that glow, that last for a while, that help protect the country, that help give us a sense of community, that gives us a sense of progress that we're moving forward. We don't need cake. He's going to be serving a lot of cake at his ballroom. We don't need the cake. We need bread. We need basic sustenance in this country, and that's what we're looking for. But it doesn't necessarily get views on a YouTube video. It doesn't get likes on X and Twitter and that sort of thing. It's not something that people want to really push because it doesn't move the algorithm. But this is what people are really hungry for, and this is what we need to stand up for. And that's
people
what this
are hungry for, Joe. They'd be on the algorithm. I'm sorry, they're not. Let me show you something. Just so I'd like to know we disagree, but we're really agreeing. It's just a matter of how we get the idea out there. And I got to put it up again. Devo. We are devolving, going backwards. It's like intelligence means nothing anymore in this country. If you're perceived as smart, it's like bad. Oh, you must be part of the swamp. You're smart. You know something. You must be part of the swamp. You got an advanced degree. You must be part of the swamp. You don't know anything. I know everything because you got to be on the outside. But of course, as we know, everybody has switched and now they are the swamp and we are the old swamps, now the new swamp. Long live the king. Just comes and comes and comes and comes. But we keep going backwards into the way things used to be because we just love this powerful guy and he's just running with it. But he spent years outside focusing on all this, Joe. And I'll tell you this sickness, though, about the 2020 election is just crazy. Bottom line, Trump lost the election. Let's make sure there's no question about this. He encouraged those people to rush the Capitol. He encouraged all of it. He sat there and watched it. His daughter came in, they said, and said, Daddy, or said, please call somebody in. He wouldn't call the National Guard. He wouldn't call anybody. We have to remember all this. The guy who's so willing to call the National Guard, to send them into LA, to send them into Chicago, to send them wherever he wants to send them, says his tech buddies called him, his bros, so he didn't send them into San Francisco. Couldn't bring the National Guard into D.C. to protect Congress. So that's what's going on. We have to remember that. That's the mentality.
I mean, the point is, we're not just rehashing history, but we're going to have an election in another week or so. And then in a year, we're going to have the midterm elections. And if Trump of 2020 can get away with, inciting a resurrection.
He got people worked up, and
he can get people worked up. To storm the Capitol. If he can get away with that in 2020, what's the 2025 version of Trump willing to do and get away with? That's the question. Are we going to have free and fair elections? And I think they're talking about bringing in people to observe the election in New Jersey and what is it, Virginia?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what is that all about?
Because the Republicans said you got to come in and check it out. You got to come in. But what this is leading to is what we've been talking about been yelling about ICE, been yelling about the masked men and women, except as we say, the only masked man we like is the Lone Ranger. But remember, I've been yelling and screaming, Joe, yelling and screaming about how these ICE thugs, and not most, chunks of them are thugs, because when you put on a mask, you're a thug. You're not standing up for what you believe in. And you see these ads. But remember I talked about how they're picking up all the Americans and they're locking them up and they're putting them away and we don't hear anything. And no, it's never, because if they do that, of course, it's the person's fault. Did you read? George Will wrote an article. You all know George Will, old conservative guy.
Very conservative guy.
Old conservative guy, pretty smart. Well, we got to hold that against him. Pretty smart. He wrote about this guy, George Retes, R-E-T-E-S. Check this out on October 24th. Everybody wants facts. This is incredible. This guy was a veteran, 26 years old, lives in California. He enlisted in the Army after high school. He was in the infantry. He loved it. And he just had everything, came back, had his family. He was working for a company. He goes driving up to the company, and ICE was there. They attacked him. They came in, beat in his window, pulled him out, locked him up. They had him for 4 hours, Joe. Now, understand, you're getting yanked out of your car. An American veteran, his plates say DV for disabled veteran. Okay, this is like sick. They pepper sprayed him. Then they pull him out. They start yelling at him. He's asking, well, will you give me your badge number? They won't give him a badge number. They'll do nothing. And they zip-tied his hands behind his back for 4 hours and made him sit on the ground. How if you had to go to the bathroom? What's going on? You got all the stuff in your eyes. You're an American. You're an American citizen. An American citizen who fought for this country, okay, was willing to put his life down for this country. They took him out. Not only did they do that for the 4 hours, they didn't ask for any ID, Joe. None. Zero. Then they took him to a Navy base. He was strip searched and then incarcerated in LA with handcuffs. No charges made against him. A mouth swab collected. He asked for a lawyer. They wouldn't give him a shower to wash the pepper spray out of his eyes. And 3 days he was locked up. An American citizen. You know how angry I get about this, Joe. 3 days. Our contributors have got to understand how sick this is with ICE. 3 days locked up in cuffs, an American citizen. How hard should it be able to show you're an American citizen? Check the guy's license in a database. You're ICE. It takes 2 seconds. The National Police Force. It's Big Brother. Then he goes in, and then after the 3rd day, they come in and say, oh, the charges have been dropped. You can leave. He said, what charges? What have I been charged with? Okay. He goes in, he writes an op-ed, and suddenly ICE says, he attacked us. He attacked us. Meanwhile, there's a video from an LA television station, makes it a bit obvious he didn't attack him. Okay? So they come in, so they attack him. He sued him. There's no way. No way. Okay? And think about how ICE is advertising things. Which way, American man? Recruits will defend the homeland, recapture our national identity, stymie an invasion, halt the cultural decline, and even save civilization. That's what ICE is. So, Joe, when you raise the issue about the elections and what's going on, they are building a national internal police force for Trump with masks. That's ICE that you can't trust. You can't trust anybody behind a mask anyhow. I trust my policemen because they let you see who they are. They give you a badge number. This is what's going on. And this is what if they start dispatching ICE to the elections? I'm sorry, to the election stations or the polling places next year. This is what you're talking about. I'm telling you, this is where it's coming from. And I've been talking about this since this happened. This is nasty. People don't realize this. Trump has a national police force. That's what ICE is. They're not out just picking up immigrants. They're picking up Americans. They're picking up people who are entitled to be here. That Chicago house they hit, I don't mind that big apartment. They got like 120 people. 2 of them were like the really bad people. More American kids were locked up. Come on, Joe. I'm gonna let you go. Really?
Yeah, I mean, I like to address Mike's Jeremiah Brown's comments and Mike's comments in the chat.
What they say?
And what Mike is saying is that they must be doing something wrong to be treated that way. That when you're stopped by the police, you're supposed to comply with it, and if you don't comply, then you can be treated poorly. But maybe you can explain how ICE is different from the police. My understanding is if you're stopped by a police officer, they will show you your badge. You can identify the individual, so that there's some accountability. Often there's where they're taking a movie of it, so that you have a record, you have a cam on, and so you have a record of what actually happened. And then you need to be charged with a specific crime, and there's due process. But what's happening with ICE doesn't seem to follow all those normal regulations and controls that we have built in to protect the rights of American citizens. And I think that's what you're saying. And I would ask Mike, if what Mark is saying is true, do you believe that's how this country should be run? That we should have people without badges, in mask, zip tying you, holding you without any specific crime, and then releasing you back and saying, "Oops, I'm sorry." Is that the kind of country that we want to have?
It's not just that, Joe. And Mike, I'm looking at what you were saying because as Joe's been talking, I think you guys are missing what we're talking about here. This is an American citizen who worked at this place, drove up, and they didn't just say, "Hey, do us a favor. Get out of the car and show us your license and let us know who you are so we can check in with you." What they did was they crashed in his window, they pepper sprayed him, they pulled him out, they zip tied him for 4 hours, put him on the ground, and then sent him away for 3 days. 3 days. Look, you're talking about regular police officers don't do this. They have to give you a badge number. They have to have their camera going. They have to be talking to you so that you have evidence. They have to be nice to you. They have to do it right. These guys don't want to wear a camera. They don't want to do anything. So the bottom line is this, and everybody's missing it. This police force is not just after ICE. I'm sorry, it's not just after quote unquote illegal immigrants. They're after anybody they want to get. They'll take them and put them down. And when they feel like dealing with them, it'll be great. Mike, how would you feel if they did it to you? Sitting there, had your car destroyed, have them pull you out. You're a disabled veteran, or you're a veteran, or you're just an American citizen. They pull you out. They put you behind your head, your back, in zip ties for 4 hours. You can't even go to the bathroom. And then for 3 days, you're yanked from your family and nobody knows who you are. And all they had to do was go into a database, go into a motor vehicle database. Think about this, Mike. This is beyond autocracy. This is an internal police force. An internal police force of just a lot of people are told, be tough, we'll give you guns, we'll give you clubs, and you can do what you want to do. And you have no accountability. And when you say when you say you did nothing wrong, they'll blame you. If it happened to you,
again, I want to address their comments. They say that we're not being affected by mass migration. I guess by migration, you mean immigration, I guess. And are you talking about legal immigration or illegal immigration? And so you please explain what you're referring to.
There's no immigration, Joe. The borders have been shut down for 10 months. There's zero immigration, Jeremiah. It's not an issue. They're here. They've been zipping them out. The problem is, as we've been saying, everybody wants to parse down and break it down, and you're not hitting it right. I'm sorry. I really respect what you're saying, but we have said from the beginning, we have had an immigration problem in this country for decades, for centuries. People flood in, the laws change. They flood in, the laws change. And we said months and months, before the election, well before the election, we need an immigration policy where the borders get shut down, where the people who are in line already to be citizens should be pushed faster. Let's get them moving, okay? It's a tougher test. I'd sure like to see most American kids pass that test. But you push them through, and then those who are here working and have been here for years, 10, 20 years, paying taxes, paying Social Security, of which they receive none, should be put in line and given green cards or something and work their way through so eventually they can be citizens. Then we've got it under control. Then we're dealing with it. But when you're just sending in masked thugs to just take people and not care if they're American, if they're what they are, and just lock them up and send them out, it's absolutely sick. And it is really bad. And if you don't see it coming in this way and don't see it come, you better watch out, because as they always said, we either hang together or we hang alone. And they'll come after you as fast as they'll go after anybody else. Joe?
Well, Mike says that he's been driving a truck for over 32 years. He's been pulled over a lot of times. He's never had to ask for a badge number and never asked for anything that we're talking about.
Those are policemen.
And I would say, was this someone who was wearing a mask? Is this someone that you knew was a police officer?
Right.
I mean, Mike, what if I, as a criminal, wore a mask, came up to you and said, I'm an ICE agent, but showed no proof of it? Now, the person's not really an ICE agent. They're actually a criminal, and says, get out of your vehicle, ties you up, puts you in zip ties, hops in your car and drives away. Is that okay? Yeah, it's how can you trust if the person you're dealing with is truly an ICE officer, an ICE official, if you can't see some proof that they're who they are, that they represent themselves? And that's why, police officers carry around some proof of who they are, and then they're given the right then to pull you over. The ICE officials don't have much specialized training, as far as I can tell, and they're wearing masks, and they offer no proof that they represent the federal government. It's intimidation. It's the purpose isn't to necessarily get rid of immigrants. The purpose is to intimidate people and to make a display for a base that's happy to hear these kinds of stories, as far as I can tell. Now, let me give you an alternative, Mike. What if Congress, both sides, left wing, right wing, people in the middle, got together and said, we have an issue that during, let's call it in the Biden years, there's too much immigration, and that hurt the country. Too many people are going to Democratic cities, Republican cities, and we weren't able to handle that big wave of immigration. Much of it was undocumented, illegal. What if people said, that's the issue, we need to solve it? And then they came up with solutions. And part of it might include restricting access for other people to come in illegally. And I don't think either party would have a problem with that. If they said we need to have some sort of program to identify particularly people who are here undocumented but are breaking the law, to go after that, there would be no one on either party that would disagree with that. And then let's have a program that for people who are here and want to become American citizens and have demonstrated through decades of hard work, having families, giving sons and daughters to serve in the service, that they want to become Americans, giving them a path to become American citizens. I don't see where anyone would have a problem with that. If reasonable people will come together to try to solve the issue, I think the issue could be solved. And then we can move on to the next issue, like healthcare. But it seems to me that there are some people who want to keep it as an issue, who don't want to solve the problem, who want to point and scapegoat certain people who are in a weakened position and saying all the problems in the world are related to these folks.
It's been going on for 200 years. It's nothing new. It's been 200 years. There have been waves of immigrants coming in. They do it. It's just something we got to deal with. Let me jump in here. I'm with you. You're too logical, Joe. You're just too logical. It's just, he's just so logical. What are you going to say? That's what I love about him. But look, I'm looking at some of these things here. They're going, Mike, the administration didn't let 20 million criminals in. Come on. I mean, where are you coming with this? And then how many criminals are there out there? I don't think there are that many in this country. There are going to be good boys. Where are you going with 20 million? And they're taking over the jobs? Mike, they caught these guys. They're focused. They got the one guy, the one cop. They got the guy. That guy was down here in Baltimore as a principal. The funny thing is, that guy was supposed to be really good. Everybody thought he did a really good job. But he was here illegally, and he was hiding. I think he had guns in his house or something, or his car. And they took him down, and you get taken down. Mike also says here, in the winter, cops do wear masks. Okay. If it gets cold, you wear a mask, Mike. I don't think anybody's arguing with that. But you still got to show your badge number. You still got to have your camera. You don't have to have a judge yell at you at a hearing and say, why won't you wear cameras? Realize this. ICE doesn't want to wear cameras. Why? Do you remember 6-7 years ago when there were all these problems, and then it led to the problems in the streets, and the riots, which were horrible, and people were getting killed, and all this was going down. But the police needed accountability. And not only did the police need accountability, they needed proof to be able to protect themselves. So it was determined that cameras would both protect the police and protect the public. Isn't it interesting that ICE doesn't want them to wear cameras? ICE wants them hidden because ICE doesn't want people to know the truth. So if you say, ICE, you did something wrong, they don't have a camera, they lie, just like they did about this guy I just told you about. That's George Will's article. Read it, please. It's the real. They don't care. They take Americans, they put them down, they lock them up, and then decide to let them out when they want to let them out. And if you complain, they go, you're wrong, it's your problem, go hire a lawyer. That's what's going on. Where are we here? Dr. V's Billings being silly. No, they're not like cops, Mike. They're not like cops. How about if they break the law? That's what happened here with this guy. He's getting sued that I just read you. There's a big difference between ICE agents, which are there supposedly to just do a job of taking care of illegal people here in the country, and those that are out there beating Americans. How about the guy up in Chicago who shot the preacher or whoever he was, the priest, who got shot in the back of the head with the pepper bullets, okay? A pepper, whatever it is. Vicious. What are you talking about? These guys are thugs. They're not looking out for anybody. They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for Trump. And how about the guy running them, Homan, who took 50, it looks like took 50 grand in cash. Heard another word about that, Joe? The guy who runs ICE. Hey, where's the cash? Where's the cash, Mr. Homan? Where's the 50 grand? Oh, I'm cleared. The people who Trump runs told me I'm cleared. Right, because Trump's going to clear you. So that's what's going on. Got nothing good to say about ICE. Absolutely nothing. They don't care. See, people are getting bummed, Joe. They get mad at me because I'm saying the way it is. Bottom line, thank you. Believe what you want to believe. They do pay taxes, Mike. What are you saying? Come on. Mike the Moore is really missing it, Joe. I'm missing it here. We talked about this for how long? Mike, fact. Most of these people who are quote unquote illegal have been here many years. They pay taxes. If they don't get paid taxes, they get prosecuted by the IRS and get handled. Not only do they pay taxes, they can't use banks the way we can use banks. They don't, and they have to pay Social Security. Mike, listen to me. They got to pay Social Security. They don't get any Social Security like you or me may get, or Joe may get. They get nothing. They get the right to stay in this country. And in return for staying in this country and working for Americans and being good, hardworking people, many of whom have raised kids who became veterans fighting for our country and are Americans fighting for our country. And you're just taking them out and just destroying them and killing them. You don't care about these people. They're just illegal. They take advantage of our system. Come on. How's that taking advantage of our system? They paid into our system. We get the cash. They get thrown out. What a deal. So, Mike, that's a fact. The ICE interactionists are actually victims. You're right, Jeremiah, but they're getting treated like criminals, and that's the problem, okay? And you don't just do FOIA requests. You do a FOIA request, it takes so long, and then they could say no, and then if you want to go further, you got to hire a lawyer. This is not the way we fix things. FOIAs don't work. Jeremy, 50K, look up Google. Tom Homan, 50K, look it up. This camera's going to backfire. Okay, good. Mike, right on. If it backfires, it backfires. We're in the mosh pit. I think you're watching it, Joe. If it backfires, it backfires with Democrats. The issue isn't Democrats or Republicans. The issue is Americans. Dr. V and I are Americans. You're Americans, or you have the right to be here if you're here in the country, I assume. Or if you can be foreigners jumping in on this stuff. I love it. We've had some British and Canadian people. But the bottom line is, if a camera catches somebody mistreating an ICE agent, then that's great. get that person and prosecute. But if that camera is going to show that the ICE agent is mistreating an American, that's a problem. Or mistreating anyone, really, I'm sorry. That's a problem, okay? So if it backfires on whomever, I don't know if it's backfiring on, it protects Americans. So it's not backfiring. It's the wrong word. It's protecting Americans. It's called cameras, okay? They are a net deficit. Wrong, Jeremiah. They have shown. Go on to it. There are so many of all these research data points that our friend loves here that shows that all the benefits immigrants brought to this country, all of it. They're not taking people's jobs. They're filling jobs that people don't want, and then they're paying for the right to be here, raising their kids, and their kids are great Americans. Woo, how lucky are we? How lucky is this country? Doesn't make sense. Joe, go. Oh, you did? Wait a second. Mike, what story have you ever heard of? Any story I'm telling you about, Fox, CNN, and NBC has talked about. Joe, what's he talking about?
Maybe the home and $50,000. I guess that didn't get too much airplay.
That was Jeremiah who raised it. I don't know what Mike's talking about.
Is it? I don't know. Mike, may put in the chat what story that hasn't been reported.
Right. I don't know. Okay, Joe, let me tell you something. I got all worked up, Joe. I got to get into some music. If Mike throws it in, I'll find out what he was talking about. Oh, the argument, everyone is American, will be the end of America. Right. I'm American, my friend. Let me tell you something. When I get worked up, I love music. Many, many, many years ago, I'm digging deep. We talk every year, every week about our music. And I try to school Joe because Joe's problem was he was so busy studying. He was a party man. But he was so busy studying, he wouldn't come upstairs and see the brothers. And he wouldn't come up and see and listen to what was going on. He was listening to Barry Manilow and Pink Floyd.
Yes, Barry Manilow.
And the Grateful Dead and stuff like that. He loved all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
That's okay. But we were rocking upstairs, okay? I have an album that started when I was like in 10th grade, 10th, 11th grade. To me, one of the first progressive albums of all time. An incredible album. The guy who did this was the lead singer for the Kingsmen, and they did the song Louie Louie. Remember the song?
Yeah, sure.
How big was the song?
Big
Louie
song.
Louie, okay? His name, I just got off, it was Don Gallucci. He must have been a cousin, Joe. Don Gallucci, okay?
From the old country.
From the old country. He was 15 or 16 when he did that. He came up, the group was called, or the album is called Touch. It opens up to the music, but in the back are the hands that come around and touch. Now, let me tell you about this album. I'm taking you deep.
This is deep, yeah.
When they recorded this album, Hendrix was there partying with them. Jagger was there partying with them. Grace Slick was there partying with them. And the word I got was that they ran out of money and Hendrix had to bail them out at the end to get it recorded. Let me tell you something. No, it's all real instruments, real voices, not like it is now where they have to mix and do all this stuff. 1968. This is one of the most incredible albums you will ever hear. When I tell you, you got to listen to each side and not have it broken up, I'm telling you, you got to do it. This album is so incredible, Touch. This is one of the first progressive albums, well before Yes, well before all these guys. You don't hear Louie Louie on this album. You don't hear any Louie Louie on this album. You hear my old Italian friends rocking and rolling, Don Bellucci. After this album, it fell apart because it was so elaborate. It was so intricate that they couldn't play it live. I'm telling you, go out, look at this album. This is Mark talking to you. I mean, I got you so deep. I pulled out a shovel at Joe, and I dug. I thought about what album do I want to give everybody today? Touch. You gotta do it.
Okay.
Incredible. Listen to the first side, lay back, go yes. At the end, because it's perfect. Then at the end, turn it over, crank it up again. Your ears are just flying everywhere. There's only like 3 songs on each side. Oh, I'm telling you, one of the greatest. I was like, what, 10th grade, 11th grade when this came out? I went crazy. Incredible album. And I played it in college nonstop, and Joe never came up to listen to it. Never came up to listen to it.
That could be. I did miss that one, but you may be right. That sounds like it was early progressive rock.
I mean, it was before anybody called it progressive rock. It was as rock was starting to get. It went from psychedelic, so it had a lot of psychedelic in it.
Yeah. It sounds like an album I would like. Thank you.
You would. 67 was like the summer of love, and then it started changing, and it started going to harder rock. Janis and Jimmy were moving out a little bit into their stuff, and they were. But this was just like this. Just took it to that next level. And I'm telling you, real instruments, real voices, crazy. I still listen to it. I go crazy. Get it? Touch. They're touching. And say to Joe, why didn't you go up to see the brothers? Why didn't you go up to see your PB and listen to this album? Joe, what's wrong? Touch.
Somebody had to keep the house grade point average up.
We had to keep everybody happy. You had to keep the GPA right.
You had to keep the GPA up.
That's why he was unleashed back then. Unleashed. He ain't unleashed now.
Well, it's supposed to be unchained, but that's okay. I'll be
unleashed then.
I'll be unleashed
then, and now you're unchained. Okay, Joe. Anything else?
So what's going on with the Ravens? That's what I want to know. It's destroying my fantasy football team.
Let me tell you something. You want to talk?
I thought Lamar was going to play this week. What's going on?
I'm going to tell you what's going on. Okay. I'm going to tell you.
AJ Brown's not playing. Lamar's not playing.
AJ Brown for who?
I know he's an Eagle. I know.
Eagle, right? Okay.
I know. I'm just 2 guys on my fantasy football team. They're not.
Look, I'm going to tell you. I did this a while back too. Okay, we're talking football. I love the Ravens. I love the Orioles. I was born the year that they both came here. Right on. So they're part of my life. Let's get this straight. The Ravens stink. They had all these guys, and my son-in-law will tell you, I was telling him before the first game was all that mattered. If we lost the game, the season would have been really bad. I never expected this. The season would have been really bad, but this is part of the problem, I think. A lot of stars without any backbone. A lot of guys who are just really good, but it's not a team. And it's not the old fighting team that the Ravens used to have all the time. These guys don't do it. They just kind of, I never see anything like it. You whack them, they walk away. And Lamar, who is one of the most incredible athletes I have ever seen. Incredible, okay? I mean, wow. Super wow. I don't think he is on that first level after all these years.
Oh, my God.
He's not a leader. Tom Brady is not the athlete Lamar was. John Elway wasn't the athlete Lamar is. Johnny Unitas wasn't the athlete Lamar is. But these guys knew, everybody knew when you went into a huddle with them, you're going to win. Because these guys were winners. They had it in their eyes. They were just going to make it happen. And I think Lamar just hasn't put it over the top. Who is it? Your boy, your guy for the Eagles.
Hurts
is a winner.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not as good as Lamar as a quarterback.
He's been trying to tell you for years. Hurts is better than Lamar.
I didn't say that. Hurts is a winner. Okay. He's not better than Lamar. Lamar, I think, is a better quarterback. But Hurts was able to take that model he was working in. He's a great quarterback, but he was able to take that model he was working in and take it to the Super Bowl. Lamar has been unable to do that. That's all. And I think that's what makes the difference. It's like Marino. Marino didn't do it. Did Marino win a Super Bowl?
No.
I mean, that's just me. I'm an old guy. I've been around the old way. But Lamar's just great. But this team, the Ravens, just like the Orioles, needs a leader. Lamar isn't the leader. Lamar is a leader. They needed a Ray.
Yeah.
They needed Ed Reed. They need a J.O. J.O. was really quiet, but they need a Ray Lewis or an Ed Reed or the Goose or some of these guys who are just so great. They came in and said, this is the way it's going to be, and that's the way it was. That's not this team, and they just fell apart. Orioles are the same way. Orioles have so much talent, but they didn't have Frank Robinson. I kept saying it. My son-in-law was getting mad at me. I was whacking on him. Frank Robinson. He kept saying, oh, Frank. I said, Frank was great because you'd watch the Orioles. And in the early 60s, they built a good team, and they were always coming close. There was only one division then. Yankees, the guys, Indians or whatever. But we were always coming in third place or second place because we just couldn't get over the top. We had Brooks, we had McNally, we had Palmer, we had all of them. And then all of a sudden they traded Pappas, Dick Walton, and Simpson, I'll never forget it, for Frank Robinson, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Frank came in, hit a home run on his first at-bat in an exhibition game, went around, they gave him the silent treatment. Frank led him to the World Series. You need a leader, a guy who can deliver and be a leader. I would take Big Pappy if he's still playing for the Orioles. He came in and just rips phones out of the wall. The Orioles needed a guy like that. They need a guy like that now. The Ravens needed Joe. That's what's happening. Forget it. They don't have that one guy who'll just come in and kick the wall down and everybody will go, whoa, he's the man. I'm following him out the door. They don't have it. The Orioles had it with Frank, and the rest of the team got better and better. We had it with Ray. We had it with all, we just had it, okay? Reed. Woo, did we have talent. But these guys were leaders. They weren't afraid to take people by the neck and say, you're going to win, you're going to win. That's Lamar doesn't do it. I'm not on him about it. He just doesn't do it. And nobody in the Ravens does that right now. And you're asking me why? That's why.
Are they going to win today?
Lamar isn't playing. Who knows?
They're like 1.5 favorites.
I don't understand. It makes no sense. How can you look? I love it.
So should I get some of my money back? That's what I want to know.
I wouldn't touch it. The mistake we made last time was I said the defense is going to give up too many points.
I'm going to start getting back into it a little bit.
What am I going to say? Sorry about the
based
Browns.
on your recommendation.
Let me tell you
the
something.
Point is,
Mike,
we have a great country, and it's great to be able to.
Mike's a Cleveland Browns fan. You're missing.
I know. I feel bad.
I like bad.
When I complain about the Eagles, and I think about Cleveland Browns.
Quit moaning about the Eagles, Mike. We love Badfinger. If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. They really got screwed by their manager, and it ruined them. And Paul McCartney loved them. The Beatles loved them. They were on Apple, I think, and they did all that stuff. Me goes, look, we're getting lots of music. Love Pink Floyd. Oh, that was you.
Yeah, there we go. So you got some taste in there.
The show is Pink. Look at all they're into. My brother Pink Floyd is the best band ever. You and Mike are rocking, Dr. V. You didn't tell me this. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Mike, I have to tell you.
What?
Last night, I'm so sick of the music right now. But I found a YouTube station that takes music from today and they run it through some sort of algorithm and make it sound like it's from Pink Floyd, so that they Pink Floydize the music.
Would you really think it's Pink Floyd?
So you can hear bands that sound like they came from Pink Floyd. So it's good. It's listenable now. You can listen to
listenable. It's listenable.
Yes, listenable. They Pink Floydize the music.
Oh my Lord.
That's what I was listening to last night.
I'll have to check that out. Maybe they can do one that makes it sound like the Dave Clark 5 or something. And too much. So wait a second. Oh, incredible. So we got the guys going with this. No, Cleveland Browns. Let me tell you, the Browns have been horrible all these years. You guys got handled. You just had bad owners with the Browns. But they're going to pull it. You're going to be better than the Ravens this year. The Ravens stink. It's just the Ravens have been good. We'll be better next year. We'll get some good draft choices. I wonder if they're going to trade Lamar.
Yeah.
Lamar's got a no-trade clause. His contract's $75 million next year. They got to make a decision. Are they going to stick with Lamar and extend him? And will Lamar sign, or does Lamar not want to be here anymore? Does he want to get traded? Could we trade him? It could be interesting. We may stick the rest of the year, get a great first-round draft choice, trade Lamar, get a couple more. Who knows? Maybe get smart and put people on the line. This is the Ravens. And get some maulers on the line like you guys have.
Yeah. In the meantime, Cleveland, I'm pushing for Cleveland to be good. I mean, I got a lot of shares of Judkins on my team, so I'm hoping Cleveland turns it around.
It may. I mean, just follow Joe Flacco around. Wherever Joe goes, you got it. Mike, Tom Brady won 8. He won 2. Elway should stay with the Colts. That's what we're saying. Lamar hasn't won anything. I agree, but he's still a great quarterback. He's a great quarterback. He's just not the man to push you over the top. But how many people? Those are super special people. The man's a super special athlete. He just doesn't have that final, or he hasn't shown. He could. He hasn't shown that final oomph to push it over. You know what it reminds me of? Donovan. Right?
Is that
the Eagles quarterback, Donovan?
McNabb, yeah.
McNabb, did he just come so close?
Yeah, he did. He started throwing up on the football field under the pressure.
Right, but didn't he get that last pass was like at the 2-yard line?
Yeah.
That's what's wrong. But he was a great quarterback.
I know.
That's
great.
He wasn't that next level. That's what I'm saying.
He was not the next level. No.
That's what I'm trying to pull a difference between the levels on that. Or where it's going, Joe, with interesting. We're really getting some people in on this kind of stuff. Get your money back, Dr. V. Mike's letting you have it. What do you say?
I got a lot of shares of Judkins. He better come through.
You got a lot of shares of him? Who does he play for? Is he the Eagle? I'm sorry, he's the runner.
Cleveland.
He's
the running back. He's a rookie running back.
And you got a lot for him going with him?
He's on a lot of my teams.
Who are they playing today?
Cleveland? I don't know, Mike. Who's Cleveland playing?
You don't even care. Doesn't that get you?
He has to score points. That's all.
You've had a bad year. I want everybody to know this.
Because I took a lot of your Baltimore players.
Well, that's not
the
my
King's
fault.
doing nothing.
What do you want me to do?
I traded for Andrews, and he's sitting on my bench now. Andrews, I traded for him.
They're not throwing it to him. My question is going to be: are they going to trade these guys before the trading deadline? And people like trading Andrews or trade somebody else. I mean, you're asking. It's like isn't the trade deadline next week?
Yeah.
Aren't you guys looking for somebody? Who are the Eagles?
You know who wants to get traded? Is AJ Brown wants to get traded for the Eagles.
This is what I want everybody to understand. When I talk to Joe, to understand, really understand. The Ravens stink. The Orioles stink. I got to deal with that. But you know what it's like to hear one of your best buddies moan about a great team. Oh, the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles. Oh, the Eagles. Look at him laughing. I sit there, I don't want to hear, oh, the Eagles. The Eagles are great. They're rocking. They're coming off the Super Bowl. He says, oh, they got a horrible coach. Yeah, they got a horrible coach. They got a horrible this. They got a horrible. Come on, the Eagles are really good. Quit knowing you got a great team. Take the team and run with it and enjoy it. Oh, I can't do that.
No, it's hard watching them play sometimes.
The Phillies took you into the playoffs. What are you going to do?
The Phillies stink. They got to redo their team.
They do.
They got to rebuild.
I think because
the Phillies to rebuild.
They seem to have hit the summit just so
they've hit the summit.
Sometimes you can't go over the top. You got to break it down.
Yeah.
I understand. But the Eagles, come on, the Eagles. Eagles fly.
Come on. Big game today. Giants. They're playing the Giants today.
Let me tell you, the Giants are surprising everybody.
I know. They beat the Eagles a couple of weeks ago. We'll
see how long that lasts. So these guys that come out hot and then the coaches are watching the films, I ain't worried about Eagles. Leave me alone. We're 1-5. We're 1-6. What are you laughing about? You ain't no.
They're still favorites to win the division, I think.
No, they're not. That's impossible. The Steelers are up by 3, I think. We're the bottom. We're the base.
Steelers are pretty shaky. All right. We got to go, Mark. I got to set my lineups. I got an hour.
I know. I got to get this going, too. I love you. But we start talking football, it just kind of gets crazy. So, everybody, thank you. And
we have a great country. That's the point where we can follow some football.
Eat some more.
And eat some crabs.
We
get together with fraternity brothers. We have an absolutely great country. And we come on here because we want to keep it that way for us and for the next generation and for our grandkids. That's all. That's what this channel is all about.
And let me tell you, crabs last night, like you wouldn't believe, and crab cakes, and of course the fries with the junk in it, and crab soup, and crab this, and crab that. We went crazy last night, Joe. Woo, love it.
So let's get together again next week, community. I want to create a community here
for crabs
where you can talk about stuff respectfully and help teach each other. Man. And maybe enjoy some crab stories or stories about our fantasy football team.
Joe is announcing next Wednesday that he's running for office in Pennsylvania. You hear him talking? Get ready. It's going to be Dr. V for state senate.
No, I'm not running for.
He's running. We want him to run. We need
That's not my thing.
We need a data-driven guy. Either way,
no, I'm not running.
I love you, Dr. V. If you're square, we ain't there, and that's the way it is.
Period.
See you Wednesday. Please subscribe.